All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Gonna be touching on the Waste Management Phoenix Open, giving you guys the preview, top picks, my favorite plays, the outrights, kind of just giving you everything you need to know for the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this is probably the best tournament that we've had thus far this season, just on paper. Even with Victor Hovland and Xander Schauffele withdrawing from the event, we are still looking at a pretty good field and kind of soft pricing, both outright-wise and DFS-wise. And not only that, but it's a beautiful course. We got TPC, Scottsdale, the Stadium's course. Obviously, this is an event where people tend to get pretty drunk and whatnot, but it makes it a fun event. Looking at the weather as well, just to start with that, we're not too worried about it. And it was funny seeing a lot of the narratives on Twitter about, oh, it's going to be an extremely windy event. Turns out that wasn't the case. Look at the day-to-day weather, guys. Don't just look at one snapshot of a day to see whether the weather is going to be a big factor or not. That was kind of interesting. Speaking of that, Wyndham Clark, that a boy, ended up really saving my week. Kind of was unfortunate last week that the two really chalk easy plays, Max Homa and Xander Schauffele, did not come through. But Wyndham Clark, and I put this out on Twitter, is that he was a top 10 play in the 9-5 model, which at his pricing was just like a clear cut, you need to go out of your way to play him type play. 5th ranked play in the 9-5 player pool. Again, that's on the 9-5 write-up that I come out with every single week. Be on the lookout for that, guys. And he was one of the best leverage plays as well. He came in at 10% ownership. That was pretty crazy to me. But again, kind of lucky. But 4 out of 5 really great weeks thus far this PGA season. So hopefully that continues this week. And just looking at this tournament, guys, you can tell just looking at the players that have won it. Scottie Scheffler, 2-time winner. He's looking to win this event 3 times in a row. I think that'd be the first time since Steve Stricker did it at the John Deere Classic, but Brooks Koepka won it, Webb Simpson, Ricky Fowler. Like, the one key characteristic that we can see key stat-wise is going to be total driving and ball striking. Good drive percentage is also a key stat that we're looking at as well as birdie to bogey ratio. From there's different ways other players have won. Some have been driving distance, some have been wedge game. There's little nuances here and there, but we can see that. And that's what I like about this tournament, is that different golfers can win this event. That's what's fun about it. But at the same time, we do know that certain players, staff-wise, are going to be players that we need to look at, looking at total driving, ball strike, and whatnot. Now, looking at it right now, the best play, staff-wise, or some of them, Wyndham Clark being one of them. Grayson Murray, obviously we still have a small sample size going into the data thus far this season, 5 events into the season. So Grayson Murray popping up in there. Again, I don't really think he's that the best staff fit. Corey Connors, Kevin Yu, a local. Okay, he's one of the best total drivers and ball strikers on the tour. Makes a lot of birdies, does make a lot of bogeys though. So that's the issue. But he is someone I think we're going to be looking at. Clark, Akshay, JT, total driving, ball striking, some of the best there. Good drive percentage, some of the best there. But we can get a good indication of which golfers we're going to be looking at this week thus far. And then we look at the golfers with the best course history. Justin Thomas going to be number 1 there. Some people are going to be like, well, what about Scottie Scheffler? Scottie Scheffler missed the cut here 4 years ago. That's why he's getting knocked. I don't really care about that. That's 4 years ago now. He's won it back-to-back tournaments and had a top 7 finish mixed in there as well. I think we can look past that. If you guys like, if you want to say Scottie Scheffler is the best course history, by all means, I would not argue that. This is just the data, right? Sungjae as well, coming in off of 2 straight top 20 finishes for him. Matt Fitzpatrick looking really good here. Tagala really should have won it 2 years ago and then had a 39th place finish the next year. Max Homa, good course history. Billy Horschel, he's been someone that's been kind of struggling at least last year, playing better recently. Hideki has some great course history here as well. Former winner as well. Brian Harmon, Adam Hadwin, Corey Connors, Scott Stallings as well. So there are a lot of golfers here. Sam Ryder. There's a lot of golfers that, one, will play this event a lot, but tend to play it pretty well. So I will be, especially in 50-50 decisions, if someone has better course history, I'll be defaulting to them a little bit more as a play. Let's go ahead and show you guys the golfers that are currently have the best recent form. And so this is where the week definitely gets interesting in terms of like recent form. And just as an FY, I factor in like made cut percentage. That's why some players are going to have a negative recent form right there, average. And so looking at the recent form as a whole, Scottie Scheffler clearly going to be number 1. With Xander, with Hovland not in the field anymore. Poston's really popping up. Bo Hosler, Benny Ann, those are all players that have long made cut streaks, but also been popping up recently with multiple top 10 finishes, and they are at soft prices. And so that will tell you really the nature of the beast that we have this week, is that it's going to be easy to put together some really good builds. And we have to scroll for quite some time to really get to some of the pay-ups. Now, the pay-ups are kind of more proven. Jordan, JT, especially if you include some of the DP Tour starts in there, but you can see the field that we are getting here is kind of loaded. The pricing that we're getting as well is just super soft. But with that, let's go and get into the cheat sheet for this week. So looking at the top plays for this week, again, Xander's not in there. To me, it becomes much more concentrated in terms of who we want to be going out of our way to play. I do think this is a week in which we want to be prioritizing Scottie Scheffler. Given the soft pricing that we have, I'm perfectly happy to end up on Scottie Scheffler and really trying to go out of my way to end up on him. You know, the last couple of weeks in which Scottie Scheffler has been in the field, we haven't exactly needed to do that. Like last week, for example, although my best lineups were like Scotty, Grillo, and Clark. Unfortunately, the other studs didn't pay off too much. But yeah, this is a week in which I'm definitely happy to end up going on my way to target him. When we look at the cheat sheet, he is by far the best play that we are getting. Again, first, seventh. You look at total driving could be better for him. But birdie bogey ratio, number one in the field there. Second best in good drive percentage, which is kind of strange. But recent form obviously has been great. 28 straight made cuts on the PGA Tour. Best play in the 95 mile by all means. I love him as a play this week. And then looking at Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas to me is the next pay up play, and the data agrees. And then from there, Max Homa. So really, we have a decision to make. It depends on which player you personally want to end up as well. And what's crazy about Justin Thomas finishing fourth last year, and I think like we could really start JT and Scottie Scheffler. Again, we have soft pricing. I don't think we need to do that. But if you're not playing Scottie Scheffler, you're going out of your way to target Justin Thomas. Thomas had a down year last year, and Thomas was still a top 5 finisher at this event last year. He is coming in ranking extremely well in total driving, ball striking, good drive percentage. Obviously coming in over the last few events in great form. When we extend it a little bit further, recent form 5, recent form 6, recent form 7, and whatnot, it does get a little bit worse after that. But you really just look at the snapshot of his last 3 starts, and he just becomes probably the best outright bet, and really just a core play at his price tag. My concern is that it becomes a little bit too chalk, but right now as it sits, I'm definitely going out of my way to target him. Then Max Homa. Max Homa was definitely a disappointment last week. It's tough to say whether or not that was the wrong call because, well, we had one round taken off. That's kind of the beauty of no-cut events, is that you can typically go studs and duds, and a player like Max Homa will eventually figure it out over 4 rounds. And so obviously he didn't, but that was his worst start in quite some time. I think we're just going back to him as a play. Just been playing extremely great golf, has good starts here. Now, do we want to prioritize him over Justin Thomas? Probably not. Do we want to prioritize him over Scottie Scheffler? Definitely not. From there, I don't know if I need to play Sam Burns or Jordan Spieth. To me, those feel like hit or miss plays, risk reward based plays. So then from there, we can drop down into like the lower sections. Sungjae Im feels like a very safe play. I don't know if I need to go out of my way to target him. Cameron Young, this should be a good track for him. He's just, you feel bad for someone like Cameron Young where he couldn't exactly capture a victory during that stretch of golf where he's playing insanely good golf. And now he's kind of got more name value than game value to him right now, but I'm fine with him. Tagala, probably should have won this event 2 years ago, made the cut at this event last year. He's been playing great golf. I mean, you look at his missed cuts, still under par. Farmers Insurance Open made the cut, didn't have his good stuff going. AT&T Pebble Beach, top 20. We know with Tagala, he's kind of more of a hit or miss play, but by all means, I think he's a fine play. And then we continue on, guys. The question is what to do with Wyndham Clark, because typically speaking, I don't always like to target players coming in off of a victory, especially maybe players that aren't used to it. You had the mental grind of it, it's a stress on the body. He didn't really have that, having that one round cut off. He was just went out and played his best golf. Now he's going to have a week to adjust to that. And he's actually coming in as the second best pick in the 95 mile after being a top 10 play last week. Again, in the write-up, I mentioned he probably should be priced exactly the same or just as low as Max Homa. And the fact that he wasn't was shocking to me. And honestly, you can make that argument again this week. Like, course history-wise, top 10 finish last year, missed cut, and then 2 straight made cuts. So obviously likes this track. Stat rank right now, best in the field. Okay, that makes sense. Total driver, ball striker. That's why he won the U.S. Open last year. That's why he did well last week, okay? Birdie to bogey ratio. He's typically not going to make that many bogeys. And so his recent form had been something prior to that win last week. Was not great, but it wasn't bad. Like, you could definitely look past it, and I tended to, because Century Tournament of Champions, kind of a no-cut event, who cares? The American Express, one bad round. Other than that, fine. And then last week happened. Like, it's no shock that he did well. So I'd definitely be fine still ending up on him. It's not like the typical weeks where I'm like more worried about it. But let's go and jump into kind of the other plays that we are getting. And man, I think JT Poston is a play that makes a ton of sense. I think Benny Ann's a play that makes a ton of sense. Eric Cole, I think he's going to be chalk. I feel like Eric Cole has a lot more name value to him as well. But like we take a peek at JT Poston, guys, miscut this event last year. Obviously, we don't love that. But other than that, 3 straight made cuts with a top 12 finish. Love to see that. Stat fit wise, 5th best in the field. Specialist ranking wise, and for those of you guys that don't know, that's really just combining all these unique characteristics that we have for a tournament, for a course and whatnot, and combining that into one data point. I think too many times people get caught up in looking at greens, looking at course designer, looking at the length of the track, looking at the fairway type. Like that is all stuff that's going into that data point. 2nd best in the field. Recent form wise, 2nd best in the field. I could talk myself into a lot of JT Poston, and I could really talk myself into a lot of fair and balanced builds, because when we look at it, Benny Ann right here is another great play. I mean, Benny Ann, 4th best recent form in the field, probably should have won a couple events ago. Now, could be a little bit better of a stat fit, but still top 15 at 8.8. We'll take that. 5th best specialist. He's a player that has good course history here when he has played it as well. So I definitely like the idea of going out of my way to target him. And now is where we get some interesting plays. Eric Cole's kind of popping up in there. Hideki has great course history. Adam Scott, what we've seen from him lately has been good, but I don't think he has enough rounds in him. To me, I want to drop down to Bo Hosler and Alex Noren. So I think Bo Hosler is a very solid GPP play this week as well. 2 out of 4 made cuts for the past 4 years, but last time he played this, top 15 place finish. Stat fit wise, I would have thought he would be a little bit better. He has been playing good golf lately. And so recent form, I kind of just like targeting him because of that recent form. 3rd best in the field. And maybe he's not the safest play, but that's why he's priced down this low, right? And I do think an actual kind of safer play is going to be Alex Noren. 67th last year, 6th the year prior to that. That's good stuff. Stat fit wise, top 20 in the field. He is kind of casually coming in, checking all the boxes. And I actually just want to double check. Did he make the cut last year, or was that a miscut on the number? Miscut on the number for him. So kind of, obviously we want golfers to make the cut. But like when we look at it, he has just been playing some great golf, and he's at such a cheap price tag. Like it feels like we would essentially be locking in a top 30 finish from Alex Noren at 7.9. I'd be more than happy to do that. I think most of you guys would be as well. Then continuing on, we got Siwoo Kim, Akshay, both good plays. Brian Harmon, great course history there. Perfectly fine playing those guys. Kevin Yu is the player that I kind of wanted to mention to you guys. So Scottsdale, Arizona resident. He's going to be a great stat fit. You would imagine he has some good course knowledge here. He hasn't played this track over the past 4 years, but he is someone that even last week we saw the upside with him in 1 round. Didn't have the best tournament for sure, but man, we know the upside's there from him. Like he is a great GPP play, very solid pricing for him. I think we could definitely go out of our way to target him as well as a GPP only type of play. Then from there, we have plays that we've been targeting a bunch thus far this season. Andrew Putnam's been one of those players, not coming in as the best model rank thus far, but if you look at it, birthplace Washington, currently resides in Arizona, so I think that's why he plays this tournament a lot. 67th at this event last year, so missed the cut in the number, miscut 7th, and miscut. The thing with Andrew Putnam is he's definitely playing the best golf of his career over the past 5 months. And you can see that looking at the recent form. He's had multiple top 10 finishes over his past 9 starts. Decent stat fit. He should be a good play. And he's also cheap enough to the point where, the risk is kind of taken out of it a little bit given his pricing. So certainly a great play. Maybe not the best cash play, but a play at his price I'm happy to end up on. Denny McCarthy is someone you would think would have better course history here. Thomas Dietrich I'm fine with. And then we go a little bit lower. One player that actually pops a decent amount is Lucas Glover. I don't know if I exactly like that. EVR has been playing solid golf. Luke List typically gives a healthy effort at this track. Michael Kim's been playing much better recently. Top 10 in the field in recent form rank. I'm fine with him. Chesson Hadley at his price tag is certainly interesting as well. Top 16 in recent form rank. He's made 10 straight cuts in a row now. Typically speaking, he's going to be better than the field in terms of accuracy. 2 out of 3 make cuts at this track. Definitely think he's a fine play. KH Lee, he's fine value-wise. Sam Ryder, fine value-wise. Nick Hardy's another name that's kind of popping up. Made 1 cut at this tournament and his only start over the past 4 years. Pretty good form as well. Then I will say Justin Lauer at this price tag, coming in 73rd in the 9-5 miles, so not exactly someone that's projected to make the cut, but at the same time, to me, that's close enough. at this price tag. Like you're paying for a little bit of risk, but made the cut this event last year. He's made 3 straight cuts in a row. Has been playing good enough golf. Like it wouldn't be surprising to see him make the cut again this week. So with that, you guys kind of get my sense for this week, I think. Let's go ahead and give you guys a first look build. So right now, as it sits, I do feel comfortable going out of my way to target like these plays right here, JT Poston, Benny Ann. Like they have good course history. They have solid recent form, good staff hits. I definitely like those plays. Now, obviously, we want to try to fit Scotty or JT into our builds. I'm going to go with JT right now. That's going to leave us strapped for a little bit of money there. But again, soft enough pricing to the point where you can fit in a lot of quality plays. And I will say Ben Griffin, someone that I didn't mention, he's been playing good enough golf as well. He has top 10 finishes. I expect him to make the cut here. And then Scott Stallings is a player I want to call it as well. Been playing okay. He does have a little bit of upside there, but really good course history. 3 straight made cuts at this track as well. So just want to call him out as well value-wise. Not popping up model-wise too much, but still a fine play. I'm going to go Alex Noren. He feels like a safe play to me. So we have 7.2 left over. Going to have to play probably a value play. Kevin Yu, I'd be fine with. I do want to get like Andrew Putnam or Denny into a build. I think I'll go Putnam. I've trusted him thus far, and he seems like a solid play. And then value-wise, yeah, maybe Nick Hardy, maybe Scott Stallings. For now, I'll go Nick Hardy. Brandon Wu's been someone that's been playing pretty well as well. Look at them, miscut the American Express, -11. So like played good enough. I mean, played well, just not good enough. Those are all players that had multiple starts as well. So I'm fine with any one of those really. I mean, for example purposes, I'll go Nick Hardy, but this is kind of what we're doing. Now, let's say you didn't want to play Justin Thomas. Let's say you want to go more in fair balance. I get that. Like that's perfectly fine. Then you're probably going Eric Cole at that price tag, maybe a little bit too hit or miss. Then you could easily fit Bo Hosler into a build, Adam Scott into a build. Like you could definitely do that as well. Now that's going to be all for this video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Trying to get to 500 subscribers before the Players Championship. So yeah, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you guys want access to any of the tools at 95sports.com, they are all available for $10 a month. Okay, gives you premium information at not a premium price. Okay, that's gonna be all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate, and as always, let's keep cashing.